Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Blackout Gaming TV, the ETF2L Highlander Season 5 award show starting, well, 10 minutes ago. But it doesn't matter, we're here now. I blame Hildreth for being late here. And on to that, Hildreth, welcome.
Hello. How are you?
I am good, thank you very much. He's going to be my co-host for tonight, and also my very, very knowledgeable co-host, because of course he knows everything about Highlander you could possibly want. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Bigging you up enough here, yeah?
Yeah, I'm liking it right now.
Okay, good. And of course, we've also got a wonderful panel of guests from various Prem talent and Div 1 talent. So that should be lovely. And we should start off with our medic, Bulo, down in the bottom left-hand corner here. Bulo, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm kind of sad because I can see now in my picture, my mug, the mug that I'm drinking from, actually has Bulo on it. It's a personalised Christmas gift, but John has cut it out. I'm really disappointed.
The fact that you have a Team Fortress mug is a little bit disturbing.
I can't even see your picture. I need to see it, hang on.
It's on stream, it's not actually on Skype.
Apparently my hair needed to be kept on. That's fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense, And of course, on to our second guest, our Prem level soldier on Kaya over in the top right there. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh, we have a nice little mumble thing on this stream. That's lovely. And
It's
down
awesome.
in the bottom right, we've got our Div 1 contact, Beep. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're going to be bringing that mid-level pyro play towards us, right?
Mid-level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So, obviously this is the award show. It's recapping and talking about the best players and teams of the previous season. And of course, we've had some great big upsets this season. Biggest, of course, is SNSD coming, what, 5th? Something like that? That's probably the biggest.
Yeah, they came 5th this season, which I think is maybe the precipitator of why these awards happen, because I have on good authority that in previous years they refused to do them because it would have been a SNSD landslide.
Yeah, well, of course, now we've actually got some good Highlander players up near the top. Sort of, it's taken a few seasons, but to me it looks like the Highlander sort of groups have just sort of now evened out. So we've actually got, it's not just stacked with Sixes players who are just YOLOing it for a bit of fun, I think. Anyone want to weigh in on that? No? I'm just going to keep talking.
I'm just really distracted by how much more handsome everybody is than me on the stream. I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore.
I think you don't really have anything to worry about.
Okay, so should we get on to categories? 'Cause that's the idea of why we're here.
I think we should. I think we should start. We might as well go in class order as well, unless we've got some.
Well, we should wrap up
things.
all of the categories that exist first of all.
Yeah, okay, so of course we've got one for each class: Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demo, Heavy, Engineer, Medic, Sniper and Spy. We've got an MVP, the most valuable person of the entire Highlander season, which frankly is going to be very interesting, but we shall leave that sort of near the last, I think. Yeah, that should be the last. We've got our Prem debut, we've got our upcoming talent of the season, and we've got our caster of the season, which I am still upset that there was only 3 people nominated, but you know. Oh well.
Do better next time, Reggie. Cast more games, pass more high-level games.
Not just me. You know, there were other people that I think should have had the chance to be nominated, but not just me.
I just nominated Admirable because he is the best.
He didn't even cast any games.
I don't care.
That's,
He's the
that's,
best.
that's, that's not what he said. He didn't say best at casting. He just said he's the best.
Just the best in casting.
He's the
I have
best
to agree with
caster
that.
of the season.
Not that I'm salty about it at all in any way. Anyway, let's get on to these awards. Hildreth, if you'd like to start, as I say you've got them in front of you as well, start with the Scout.
All the Scout Awards. Should we talk about who got nominated then? We should have a little bit about
Yeah.
who
Yeah, sure.
if we
definitely.
agree with the nominations, and then we'll actually announce the winner and give them a pat on the back, get them in to Mumble on Skype to present the award. Can we do that? No, we
No.
can't do
No,
that.
that's way
No?
too much work.
Okay, no, that's a shame. Okay, so Scout, we got the 3 nominees that we had were Lazy Bear from It's All Good. Does anyone want to clap? Bulo, do you want to whistle and clap?
Don't know how
Okay,
weird that is
we're not
for
going to
people
do that
listening.
again. No.
No,
Okay,
please.
Denier from Killswitch, and Furbo from Highlander, my team.
So 3 really strong scouts there, basically. Some good Sixers talent and some, Highlander talent as well. But let's move on to our guest. Onkaya, let's talk to you. Who did you vote for? Did you vote? I hope you voted. I hope all of you voted actually before. We didn't actually check this. Did all of you vote?
I voted.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
voted.
Thank God for that. Right, Onkaya, who did you vote for?
Well,
this scout.
do you mean nominated or voted? Because I voted for Dania, but I couldn't nominate the people from my own team.
Okay. Yeah, let's bring that in as well, because of course, to make these polls, they were nominated by Prem players, as many as the ETF2L admins could get a hold of. So we'll also ask who they nominated, obviously, because you can't nominate from your own team. So Onkai, who did you nominate? Who did you vote for?
As I said, I voted for Dania because I think he's a really good scout with good comms and good presence, and good aim. But I nominated the Lazy Bear because I felt that he was one of the hardest scouts to play against, because he is so good at abusing the Criticola.
Fair enough. And on to Bulo, as you would like to talk anything about this.
Yeah, I voted for Lazy Bear because I'm completely biased, but I don't think it's that biased to say that Lazy Bear was the best scout this season. And I nominated Denia because, yeah, Denia was a really good player, and he certainly came into the Killswitch team this season and improved them quite a lot. Like, no offense to Jan or anything, but Denia's really top drawer.
Fair enough. Beep, you didn't get to nominate as you were only in Div 1 this season, but you did vote. And also, can we bring in who would you least like to play against next season?
Least like to as a scout?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're all really tough. I have to say, Lazy Bear's Criticola is really annoying to play against. But I did end up voting for Denia, but between Denia and Lazy Bear, it was really tight. So, yeah, that's what I went with, Denia in the end. But Lazy Bear, very close second.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll actually bring the result. In fact, no, Hildreth, I can ask you as well, didn't you? What nominated and voted?
I can't remember who I nominated. I voted for Furbo
Excellent.
because he's my teammate.
By the way, just to put it out there, Lazy Bear voted for Furbo.
Oh, interesting.
Not really, no. It's not interesting.
Well, I'm trying to give something
So
here.
what we've come to is everybody has voted for the scout on their own team. That's good. Like, good to see.
Well,
Well, there
to
are
be honest,
some-
I didn't expect anything less, frankly, coming from this Prem Circle jerk. You know, as the only low-ranked player here, I like to say that I didn't expect
Beep's in
anything
Div
less.
1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Prem,
I'm
he's-
down there with
he's
you.
like
and so
mid-level.
I couldn't. Yeah, you cracked that one already. I couldn't vote for
Can you
anyone
keep
on my
saying
own
it?
team. So, yeah,
I
just
was
went with
getting it out of the
Denia.
way early, don't worry.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, the results.
the results, yeah. I was going to say something, I completely forgot and lost track. So, we should just talk about the results so that I can announce that what I have in front of me. The winner is. Should I go in reverse order, or should I just announce the winner? What do you want me
No,
to do?
go reverse order. Build up a bit of emotion and panache.
Okay, so in third place, getting 18% of the vote, is Denier from Killswitch.
What? Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Well, is it? No.
In
Whatever.
second place, with 34% of the vote, the now retired Furbo. And the winner, Lazy Bear, he took almost half the vote from the community, 48%. Lazy Bear from It's All Good. Go on, do you want to give him another clap, Bulo?
I would, but well in, Izzy Bear. Well in. We're proud of you for carrying us.
I've just noticed something about the result sheet as well. There's only one category that got like the number of people who voted, and that was for Pyro. Like, I have no idea how many people voted for the Scouts, but nearly half the community said Lazy Bear was the best.
It's about 400 votes, I think. It's about 800 in each category.
Yeah, 751 people voted. Okay, so that's how many people voted. And if you look at the Vanilla TV article that Gentleman John did, which was really good, TF2 by numbers, ETF2L, Season 5 Highlander review, I could link it in the chat if I can be bothered, but statistically, I think Lazy Bear deserves it. I'd probably agree, although I always found Denier more annoying to play with, so what do you guys think of that?
Well, I think as a caster, I know if I ever casted him, I would hype him because he was always enjoyable for me at cast and enjoyable for people to watch. So I think that may have come into a part of it, and I think quite a lot of the other casters did the same. Especially as he's not like a high level sixes player. So I think he's much more interesting to watch as he's not a Prem level sixes scout, whereas the others are. I don't know. Maybe that just is it.
I want to hear your opinion, Bulo, your biased opinion.
Well, on Lazy Bear, well, I think there's certainly an element of that. I mean, there's obviously what 750 people voted, and whether we think that that's just because of some kind of more Highlander-centered community, that Lazy Bear speaks more to them as a player who is more of a Highlander player. I don't know if that effect really takes place. But yeah, I mean, Lazy Bear is very active in playing pickups and stuff, and I think he's known by a lot of people. So maybe that's all it is. He just has lots of friends. Lazy Bear's a nice guy.
I think Lazy Bear kind of deserved it, actually. He had a really good performance, especially at the end of the season. But I don't know. Denia didn't deserve the third place, in my opinion.
Well, I think the thing is those three scouts were all very, very good, and yeah.
I agree with Bruno in saying, Lazy Bear is very well known, and that point about sixes, he is very well known in the Highlander community, and he's been around forever, and he's been playing well for a lot of seasons now, so I suppose that's why he won with a landslide victory.
That's fair enough. I think we've basically said all we can about Scout.
Well,
Would we like to move on to the next category, which of
we can
course is the
say
Soldier?
more. We can always say more, like who didn't get nominated, for example.
Yeah,
Well, we
okay,
can run
that's a
through
great
them.
idea.
So, what, Blah Blah from True
Sarah
2?
Tutu.
Do you want me to do this? Because I got a list of all the scouts, thanks to Gentleman John's fantastic article.
Yeah, you do it, Hildog. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the statistics. Drozo was statistically a better scout than Denier, according to Gentleman John. And then there's Issen. I can't remember, who did he play for?
Suki doing work.
Okay, yeah, I forget about those guys. Pla Pla, Daratutu, these are all down in sort of the bottom four. Pla Pla, Abra, who must have played for Legolas, and then Atomic, who must have also played for Suki.
Mm-hmm.
So these 8 guys. So Drozo, he did quite a lot of damage per minute. But if you look at the stats, Lazy Bear is statistically the best. He's got the second best KD, most damage, which I think means a lot more. So he's way above everyone else. Furbo has the best KD, so he's playing obviously more defensively. And then Drozo is slightly ahead of Denier. But in terms of actual impact that players had for their teams, I think Lazy Bear deserves it. The second and third place is really debatable, because I'm going to stick by my teammate and say Furbo is the man. He deserves the second spot. Come on, argue with me.
No,
Nah.
we totally agree. I think as a whole, as a panel, I think the panel agrees with you.
No.
I've been watching chat, and they seem to sort of agree as well. A lot of people calling out Lazy Bear as being really, really good. Yeah, I think I think this is pretty much set in stone. This result here.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to Soldier?
I would very much like to move on to Soldier. So of
Let's
course,
do it.
in the Soldier we had 3 nominations that were voted for, and we've got Zoob, who played for Highlander, of course, Mookie, who played for It's All Good, and T-Mac for Daratutu. So, I mean, some really, really good soldiers there. A couple of differing styles as well, which I think Gentleman John noted as well in his article. So, we'll move on to our panel, starting with Hildreth. Who did you nominate? Who did you vote for?
There's a lot of feedback coming through your mic, Peep. Nominating, I have to try and remember who I nominated. I nominated Mookie. I think you guys should change your name next season from It's All Good to Mookie Doing Work, because that guy's a beast this season. And
I think that joke was funniest the first time.
Just laugh politely for me, Pilo.
Tee.
Thank you. I can't remember who I voted for. I think I voted for Zoob. Yeah, I voted for Zoob because he scares me, and if I didn't vote for him, he'd hunt me down and kill me.
Interesting, interesting. On Kaya, if you'd like
It's
to...
not really, is it?
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to be polite host. Come on. Work with me here. On Kaya, if you'd like to tell us who you nominated and voted for.
I nominated and voted for Zub because I think he's a really good soldier. He's always where he's supposed to be, and he's not dying in vain all the time. And he's actually very good at staying alive, very good at holding flanks, and very good at making life hard for people that want to take advantage of the other the team he's playing with.
Okay, and on to Bulo, of course.
I nominated T-Mac because he played very well against us in both the games that we played against Rouge 2 this season. And much better than I kind of expect him to do. No offense. And I voted for Mookie because Mookie's my favorite gamer. So that's why.
Okay. And Beep, your vote and who you are least looking forward to play against next season?
I voted for Zub because for me, his positioning, his aggression, his comms as well, bombing medics, and yeah, he's the one for me who's got it all. So for me, it's from Zub. Least looking forward to playing against is Zub.
Wait, did you just say comms for Zub?
Zub never says anything apart from medic down.
That's the type of comms I want.
Comms,
that's exactly what I'm looking for in a soldier. Exactly. So in that regard, he tells me what I want to hear. So that is perfect.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's actually reveal who was voted for. So in last place, or third place, we have Mookie on 23% of the vote. Second place was Zub with 34% of the vote, and first place, bringing up the close bombing action, is going to be T-Mac with 43% of all the votes. Not quite what you were expecting, anyone? Or perhaps were?
I was kind of expecting T-Mac might have a chance of winning because he's probably the most famous player there in terms of the wider TF2 community. Because he's been at the top of 6v6 for a long time as well. I'm kind of surprised because in terms of his impact in Highlander, he isn't really what you would class as a stereotypical soldier. He doesn't really. I mean, he doesn't run gunboats, which I think both Zub and Mookie would do for the most part. He runs shotgun, which is kind of strange in Highlander for soldiers.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
I think I'm going to allude back to Gentleman John's article. If you look at the stats, people, Gentleman John said he was the best according to his rating system. I don't know how that works.
The mysterious.
But if you look at like every game T-Mac has played in for Daratutu, the reason that team didn't do better than they should have is because they don't practice. That's one of the big reasons. Also, there's something about their demo man as well, not being very good in Highlander. But if they practice, they would be really good. And T-Mac's one of their best players. So even though he's not on like the winning team, I think he could deserve the reward.
Okay. So anything else you would like to say about that? Any shit talk you'd like to deliver, anyone? I haven't really got any. All soldiers are fun to cast and watch, in my opinion.
Mookie said he'll retire if he came last, so rest in peace, Mookie.
I forgot to talk about Mookie. He's one of the few exceptions on the list. And of course, Honored Kaja is on the list. I want to hear how Honored Kaja feels. Is it Honored Kaja or on
Kaja? It's a Swedish word.
Swedish word. I want to hear how you feel about it, so go ahead.
Feel about what exactly?
Like, are you salty that you're not on that you weren't nominated?
I don't mind. I still get money.
I'm sure he'll cry in his first place gold pixel trophy tonight that he wasn't even nominated.
Ouch.
Yeah, but I get more money than any of those soldiers, so I don't care.
So about the money you make in this game?
Well, around 50 euros.
You live enough.
Yeah.
Champagne, cigars, limos.
I can buy 10 pizzas. I can live for a week.
Wait,
with
10
that.
pizzas? How expensive is your country?
Yeah, 10 pizzas. That's how expensive it is.
Massive party.
It's like 3 Dominoes.
Getting sidetracked here. Let's not talk about pizza.
I want to point out Mookie killed the most medics overall, which is maybe one of the things that you look for when you play.
Yeah, I mean, when it, just speak,
medic
like,
kills, but
Mookie, like we picked up Mookie at the start of the season. He's pretty much like a playmaker for us. You know, a lot of our pushes and things come from Mookie doing an awful lot of doing something really big.
try to avoid saying it.
Yeah, but it's one of these things that doesn't necessarily get conveyed in the stats. But I mean, Mookie was like probably one of our best players this season, and I was kind of surprised that he got so few votes. But then again, like this is the thing, Zub this season didn't. For me, I don't think he performed as well as he has done. Like whenever we played against Highlander in wire play, which is kind of just before the start of ETF2L, like Zub was like their best player, like complete standout player. But I don't think he maybe reached the same heights this season, like just from looking at the logs and things like that there. Because he's definitely the complete player in terms of soldier.
Who did he play before he joined you?
Colony.
All right.
It's time to move on. No one's saying anything.
Yeah, move on to Pyro.
Move
Let's
on
go.
to Pyro class. Rishi, he's still there?
Yeah.
Do
Just
we have any
talking to people.
puns? Do we have any puns for this? Like hotly contested.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
I've
can
been
we-
thinking about that all day.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of a few. This is the only class that had the amount of votes put in to the bit where it tells us who won.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that is, but I'm guessing that must have been like maybe the highest voted one or something like that. Well, this is I
No,
think
it's
the
not.
only one. No? Oh,
It's not
okay.
even the highest voted. 732 people voted in total. That's less than the previous two categories. Do you
It's
wanna
probably
ru-
like one of the least voted for.
Yeah, no one really gives a shit about Pyro.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
to be honest,
exactly
it
what I
is like
think.
the worst class, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
least interesting
I'll
to
run
watch
through
as well.
the nominations for you. So, nominated on Pyro, there were 4 nominations opposed to 3, as there normally was. We have Candle from Killswitch, Rudy from It's All Good, Quell from Suki Doing Work, and of course Steve from my team, High Panda.
Okay,
Um,
well,
I'm going to guess that there's 4 nominations because 99% of the nominations went for Steve, and everybody else got 1 nomination, and we're tied.
I don't know. Well, let's talk about that. There's 3 Prem nominators here. Who did you nominate?
Well, I couldn't nominate Steve because he was on my team, so I nominated Candle.
Yeah, I nominated Steve.
I nominated Steve. I don't know who the hell fucking voted for Rudy or Quell. Both of them are completely not our shitlords. And I say that as someone who has Rudy on my team.
Yeah, but you don't have Quell on your team.
No, yeah,
he's-
you
he's
can't
still
say
a
that.
shitlord. No, I can say it right now. Say it
Suki
right
Doing
now.
Work came like what 7th or something. Like you
can
insulting him is now bullying them.
I don't care.
To be
Ouch.
fair, I think Quell's quite good, like one of their standout players, but he just plays on one of the worst teams in the league, so you can't really see him do as much.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing, this is what I say. Pyro is probably the trashiest class in Prem. It's very difficult for Pyro to do anything whenever people can actually aim at them. So I think that's kind of represented in why so few people voted for it. It's kind of less of an interesting one.
Should it even be on this nomination? Because it's not really a real class, is it? Do you think?
No,
Deep?
Should we
I
just
think it
skip
should
it
be
and let's
combo
move forward?
And Scout, yeah. Well,
What
can
do
we
you
just
think,
can we just
Deep?
get down to it? Can we just say who won? 'Cause
Okay.
Yeah,
I
let's
think-
do it.
In last position, unsurprisingly perhaps according to Bulo, is Rudy with 11% of the vote.
Well done, Rudy. I'm proud. 11%. You did good.
Third position, sorry, not quite making a bit of a splash, is going to be Quell with 113 votes. Burning that midnight oil in second position, is going to be Candle with 239 votes, and unsurprisingly in first is Steve with 303 votes. So it's actually it was quite close. I mean, Steve was 41 and Candle was 33%. So it's not quite 99% of the votes like you said it was going to be, but it was a pretty strong victory for Steve there.
I mean, I think that's completely deserved. I mean, Steve's probably the standout Pyro in terms of just what he does. You could see that he just gets more of the class than pretty much any other Pyro there. He has a very good balance between roaming and looking after his medic. So which is kind of what the bread and butter of what a Pyro should be doing. So I think that's his thing. Pyro is a boring class to play in Brem because generally you just have to look after your medic, and Steve's able to give you that value added.
Like, I guess Steve's playstyle makes him a lot more interesting to watch, and I completely completely agree that he deserves the win. He's a really good Pyro, he's a good positioning, and he's a bit of a nuisance with his air blast.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like Steve had two very good performances, both on Viaduct against Killswitch and whenever he merked for Suki doing work versus Drew to 2. You know, I mean, how often do you hear that a Pyro carried a team? Like, not very often because it's just such a trash class. So being able to do that is, you know, really impressive. Especially seeing as Steve's last 2 seasons in ETF2L have been back-to-back relegations from Prem and Div 1. So, you know, he had a lot of doubters out there. A lot of people saying, Steve, you know, you're just some big fish in a small pond. Think you're all that. So he came in, he proved the doubters wrong. Well done, Steve.
Well, I want to hear from an actual Pyro main.
Yeah.
Well, I want
Beep,
to.
who do you aspire to be like? Yeah.
I mean, basically, Steve. Like, it just seems that exactly what Bruno said. It's whenever you're playing against people who can aim, there's not really much you can do, and playing babysitter's kind of boring. And some maps are really boring to play. But Steve is. It just seems that he's kind of head and shoulders above anyone else in Europe. So he really stands out that way, I suppose. And he's not afraid to change loadout, and he just does really well in every department. He combines the med protection with the Roman really good, and yeah, he can kind of do it all in terms of, you know, Pyro. So I think he definitely deserved the win. So well done to him.
Okay, well, let's get on to the bread and butter class right now. Going to be some interesting results here. It's going to be Demo Man, with some great Demo Man this season. I'm not bullying Beep. Shut up, Stephen. Sorry.
No, he isn't bullying.
Demo Man. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm being nice, honest. So anyway, Demo Man. Where was I? We've got three nominations. Yeah, we got Hildreth, Emilio Estevez, and Cadis as our 3 Demo Man nominated. So guys, give us your nominations and your votes, please.
I'll go first, I guess. I nominated Emilio Estevez because he's the best. That's all I can say. And I didn't actually vote because I don't think it's fair to vote in the category that I'm in. Yeah,
You might regret that, Hildreth.
Who cares?
I nominated Cadus because I think he's a very good DM, and he's playing very well considering that SNSD doesn't play as much as they used to.
Yeah, I agree with Onkaya there. For me, it was Cadis. His DM is just unbelievable. Whenever he bombs your medic, he will die, and he just impressed the fuck out of me. So, yeah, for me, it was Cadis.
Well, I nominated Axon because I had the most fun. Well, 2 reasons. Basically, because I thought it was either between Hildreth or Emilio, and I found it very difficult to choose between them because basically you have 2 really strong demo men who lead their team, both through the strategizing and the like in-game calls and stuff. Which I don't think Cadis does quite so much. And also Cadis had played 5 games and lost 4 of them. So. So I vote for Exxon because he got a whole load of med picks with the Caber. It was really funny. Like, I enjoyed watching him. That's why I voted for him.
Most of them you.
No, Exxon, did he caber me? I don't think he cabered me. He might have cabered me once. Most of them were on Hat, actually.
Really?
It was kind of sad because Hat couldn't do anything about a lot of them. So it was really funny. I like watching it happen to other medics. That's all I can say.
Ouch, that hurts. As a medic man myself, watching people get cabered is just hurts me right here.
But anyway, the results. So in last position, bringing up the sad, sorry little rear, is going to be our own Hildreth with 20%.
Oh no!
20%. What is that, Hildreth? You just weren't trying.
If only you voted for yourself, Hildreth.
Could
I would have turned it around.
Myself. I would have made it.
Well, in second place with 27% of the vote is going to be Emilio Estevez.
Hmm.
No, not
It's
sure.
20 and 27. which means that Cadis came in first with 54% of the vote. Which I know for a fact that Hildreth was talking about it earlier. He was talking about, has anyone actually watched Highlander? So, I mean, you've got some strong feelings on this, Hildreth, because I mean, obviously you came in last. But anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, I just think Emilio deserves it because he's led his team to the victory. He's played pretty well. In pretty much every game he played this season, especially in the final. And it's just sort of in the sort of styles that you play in Highlander. Emilio's very adapted to playing the format. Whilst this season, Cadis is probably underperformed.
I mean, that's why I said it earlier on. Like, you can't argue if Cadis is DM. Like, if SNSD are playing well, then like it's probably because Cadis is playing really well and everybody's playing off of him. But at the end of the day, they won like one regular season match. He missed a close one as well against Highlander, and Permzilla did very well in his place. So I'm not really sure that that's necessarily deserved. I think both Hildreth and Emilio played very well within the format, and as has been said, they actually led their teams.
I guess Emilio and Hildreth, they are like main callers, and Cadis, he doesn't main call. So I guess both Hildreth and Emilio have very have much weight to carry on their back.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that you have to take that into account whenever you rate their performances. I think this is the thing Cadis plays without as much inhibitions as a lot of other demo men do, because most of the newer Highlander teams kind of revolve around having a pocket demo man, doing a lot of damage, getting a lot of heals, whereas Cadis, because his DM is so good, he's much more free, to do what he wants, and he'll bomb the medics and stuff. And if it doesn't work, which given that they SNSD didn't do very well this season, you can say they probably didn't work as often as they could have done. If you take that, if you rate that as what his game is, did he really do it all that well?
Well, as from a casting point of view, I remember casting the High Panda versus SNSD one, and I think Permzilla actually did a better job than Cadis was doing. He was a more focused demo man. He wasn't just throwing his life away, and was playing more as a team player, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone agrees with that.
Permzilla is one of the best demo men, and he's been
True.
playing Highlander in Prem demo man for a number of seasons. Like, he just puts out a ridiculous amount of damage and just doesn't die.
If he was playing the whole season, he'd be among the nominations as well. He's
Definitely.
good. You've got to take you back to the stats, Bulo. I'm so bitter. Look at the stats, gentlemen.
Yeah,
John did.
Hildreth did the
I'm
most
the
damage,
best.
I think.
I was robbed.
Can I also say, how many of the demo men are English?
That's
Look
a good
at that.
point.
That's disgusting. It's like 4 or 5.
4.
It's because England makes the best demo man. It's just a fact.
But
It's
the
actually
worst
true.
scouts.
If you look at last season in sixes, I think like 5 out of the 8 Prim Demomen were English. And now
The best demo man ever, confirmed, Numlocked was English.
But I mean, this is interesting. Following on from both the Soldier vote, where Team Out won, and Cadis won the demo as well. Again, like, they're probably the two most well-known players to the wider TF2 community, and I don't know whether that would have necessarily had an effect on it, because I'm not sure. Like, put it this way: Emilio and Hildreth were both nominated for MVP of the season, but Cadis wasn't. So we're going to have this bizarre situation where potentially one of them wins MVP, but they're not even the best in their class, according to the public vote.
Interesting.
we'll see. Should we move on? Because I don't think I can contain my tears anymore.
Yeah, okay. So we'll move on to Heavy. Now, Heavy's a bit of a difficult class, because, I mean, we had quite a lot of subs coming in. Obviously, one of the best Heavies, which, in my opinion, was Pinky, didn't end up playing a lot of matches because, well, you stopped playing with him. You moved on to Kakao.
He didn't want to play.
Yeah, which is a bit of a disappointing, because he was one of the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
We trialed Pinky at some point at the start, before we played what I played, Bulo. And we picked Najunin over him, so I don't know what that says.
Well,
Nothing.
let's see what the results say.
Pinky was the best. Maybe not quite so much anymore. But he's getting back into form. That's what I've heard.
Okay,
I've not
well,
seen him play for a while.
let's see what the results say. We've got 3 nominees. We had Najunin, Tech, and Jamal. Jamal. Ugh, what did I say that for? So, any nominees, any votes that anyone would like to bring up here?
Well, I nominated Tech even though their team relies on him a lot more, I still think he was a standout heavy. It's in terms of like when you watch Tech play, he's like really ridiculously good in tracking and positioning. That's what you need for heavy. I voted to him as well.
Okay, on Kaya, who did you vote for in heavy? Did you vote for anyone in heavy?
Yeah, I voted for Nionen because I think he has good position, he's good at protecting medics, good aim, and I don't know a bit about his calls, but if he has good calls, then I guess he's the best heavy at the moment.
I nominated Jamal and vote for Jamal. I think he's impressed me quite a lot whenever he came into Killswitch for the start of the season. Just I can't really. He plays very well together with Emilio, and that's the kind of thing. It's a combo. You want your heavy to be able to play off of your demo man, and you also want him to be able to do some cleanup as well. And I think Jamal's just very good at it.
Yeah, that's why I voted for Jamal. It was kind of a strange class for me to be voting on because I have very little experience playing against Neonin and Tech. But we had quite a lot of experience playing against Jamal in the UGC games and the UGC playoffs and the finals, and his positioning was great. Him and Emilio worked well off each other. He was super strong, so that's why I voted for Jamal.
Okay, well, the results were Nizunin in third place with 21% of the vote, Jamal in second place with 30% of the vote, and Tech coming in first with 49% of the vote. So, I mean, Daratutu, when I saw them playing, they seemed to only play well when Tech was on form. So, maybe that is a reason that he was in first there?
Well, I mean, mechanically, Tech is very good. As Hilder has already said, like his tracking aim is ridiculously good. But it kind of goes with what I was saying, where Jamal, he plays well with Emilio, whereas given the amount of heals that Tech gets, because the medic is pretty much stuck to him, because Exxon's always roaming, you would expect him to be doing very well and have good stats and high damage and low KD. And, I mean, you can't really criticize him for being the center of the team and doing it well. But at the same time, it's that value added I was talking about with Steve. Like, given the amount of heals he gets, is he really doing that equivalent work?
I can see the argument there. Really, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
Depends on your style, really. With Daratutu, they really depend on Tech because of the way they play.
And he's their main caller, isn't he? So.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not entirely sure. One of the things about Daratutu is the way they play. Somebody from my North American contact said that they play like a 2011 Highlander style with a like super heavy pocket mode and just healing Tech all the time. That really helps with stats, but I still think even when he's separated from his medic, he's really good. Just in his position.
As I said, mechanically, he's definitely up there, but it's kind of to me, it's how they performed within the team and how the team performed overall. What value added did you get from them? And that's the thing I was saying that Jamal, I feel, he brought an awful lot more to the table in terms of his ability to play off of his demo man.
Yeah, Darututu's recipe was having a roaming demo man and kind of a heavy pocket that gets all the heals. And this season it didn't work that well, but last season it actually worked. So I don't know, maybe it's because the strategy of having a roaming demo is obsolete, or because they didn't play that well this season. Just.
Well, at the end of the day, though, heavy is pretty much a boring class anyway, so I don't think we should really talk about it that much.
I totally agree.
Let's move on to an even more exciting class, engineer.
I'll read these ones out for you. You should give you a break.
Yes, please,
Okay.
please.
So engineer, I'm just gonna read out the nominations. So, man, I'm not even sure who some of these people play for. Okay, so the nominations were Mister from Daratutu, It's Mint from Killswitch, and Foxy Dave. I believe he plays for Sugido and work. Correct me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So those are the 3 nominations. Now, there's an absence of a couple of people who played in the second and third best teams, but I'd agree with It's Mint being there. because he's generally been the best engineer I've seen in Europe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Mint is a bit like Steve, just stands out more than everyone else. His, especially on Koth maps as well, he somehow manages to do shitloads of work as an engineer in Koth maps, whereas some other engineers don't get as much, damage and good positioning and things like that. But playing against Mint on a Koth map is fucking the worst thing ever. So
Yeah.
he does a really good job.
I agree with that. It's horrible to play
I
against him.
I think this is probably going to be one of the least contested votes because just Mint has been the standout player for a long time. Definitely by far the best engineer. His DM with the shotgun is by far the best. His mini placement is by far the best. He's the only one that you can really say has like a proper legacy. I mean, how many people put stupid dispensers all over the place to block off spies, or use the rescue ranger so much to keep things alive? He's done. I don't want to say innovation because it's stupid engineer gay tactics, but he kind of has started it all, and he's definitely been like a really big player for Killswitch, because he adds the most value. If you were to replace any other player, if you were to replace him with any other engineer, like even with the second best engineer, that's a big step down.
The biggest compliment I can give him is playing against him is like playing against Sigafu, and Sigafu's the standout North American engineer in the scene. So I think he's up there with one of the best that I've ever seen or played against or played with.
Well, he pretty much gets the maximum out of the weakest class.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying about innovation, as far as I remember, pre-short circuit buff, he was one of the only engineers that I remember playing against who actually used it. And you would hear the comms like the demo man and soldier would be like really annoyed because he would keep short circuiting their projectiles, and very few engineers pre-short circuit buff even used that, and he used it really well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was so annoying.
Yeah, so I mean, he's always been willing to kind of experiment and try new things, and I think that's worked out for him. Or we will see if it has worked out for him, whether the vote goes that way.
Yep.
Should I just read out the awards?
Yeah, let's get to it.
The results. So in last position, I say third position, Foxy Dave, who got 16% of the votes. Now in second place, Mister with 38%, and what a surprise! It's Mint. He wins with 47%. And to be honest, I'm surprised that it's not higher.
Well, you have just spent like the past 2 or 3 minutes sucking his dick, so I mean, I'm rather surprised it's not higher than it is
And
as well.
it tastes good. It's mint.
Wow.
I mean, I think
I'll
it
see
says something. I think it says something that we were able to talk for 2 or 3 minutes about Mint. But if you were to ask me what Foxy Dave or whatever
Mister.
the other one was, yeah, Mister.
Exactly.
What they had done, I wouldn't be able to tell you because for the most part, engineers they don't do anything. Like they don't stand out, and I'm kind of surprised that Mint got that. Only got about 50% of the vote.
I mean,
Mister. I was going to say, it's very curious that T-Mac, Tech, and Mister have all done very well. There's some kind of French conspiracy going on here. We need a French person here to own up to this.
I think T-Mac and Tech and Mister deserve their place in sort of the top 3, 4, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean they're
yeah.
good players, but Mint's on another level. So
Yeah.
what could you say? I'm surprised not to see Kaká get nominated. Maybe, but obviously he wouldn't win. But if you want to look at the second, third, fourth positions of engineers, does anyone really want to do that? No.
No.
No. Medic.
Yep. Let's move on to medic.
Oh boy!
Now this is the only class of nominations where one of our panel members was actually nominated for it. So
Was it you, Onkaya? Was it you? In fairness, Onkaya's a better medic than I am. He's played like high level 6s medics.
I think quite a lot of people are a better medic than you are, Bulo. So that's not really hard.
The stats. Well, I'll talk about the stats later. Go on.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got 4 medics. We've got Hiji for kill switch, Hat for SNSD, Bulo of course for It's All Good, and Ritalin was Highlander, wasn't he? Is that right? Yeah. So 4 medics. I mean, anyone want to tell me who they nominated and who they voted for?
I couldn't nominate my teammate, but I nominated Hat. and I don't want Ritalin to track me down and kill me. But I actually voted for Hat as well.
Ooh.
Though it's very close between Hat and Hiji. But I thought those two stood out more. Bula, I don't even know why he's even in Prem, let alone nominated. What the fuck is wrong with this community? I don't know. I don't know what's happened. And Ritalin did, he did pretty well, but I think like Hiji and Hat, like Hat's got the best mechanics, and Hiji's really innovative. Is that a word? Innovative with his miniguns. Someone else can talk now.
I nominated Ritalin, but in hindsight, I think I would have gone with Hat because I think Hat is a very talented medic that has good Ubers, and the downside with Hat is that he isn't used to Highlander. So,
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
This is not the multiple Highlander season-winning medic Hat we're talking about here.
If only he'd played Pyro. You've seen him air blast off the roof.
Yeah, but Highlander medic at least.
No, he played medic.
He played
Last
season 2, I think. Or
Okay,
season
I'm wrong,
3.
but it's just to me that he can only get better, if you know what I mean.
Not if he doesn't play medic next season, which apparently it looks like he might not be doing. But anyway, yes.
We'll talk about that later.
I nominated Hiji because personally I think that medic, as has kind of been pointed out in the chat, anybody can play medic. I think most of the medic stats were relatively similar for the most part. I think the fact that I can play medic for a team that finished third goes to say that. Basically, the best medic is the medic whose team won, and Heji is the best as far as I can tell. He knows when to die, and I think that's maybe something that differentiates him out from Hat. Hat's definitely got the best mechanics, but whether the game sense, and I say that like kind of whilst fully aware that SNSD are historically the best team in Europe, whether he was always in the right positions at the exact right time. But again, whether that's his fault or whether that's his team's fault is another question.
Yeah, I voted for Hat. It was kind of weird. I don't like as their enemy Pyro. It's like it's kind of hard for me to do that because it's I wouldn't really even really see the enemy medic. But yeah, he did a great job this season. But ultimately, I went with Hat.
All right, Ryushi, do you want to read out?
yeah.
Do you want to do the others?
Yeah, okay, let's do this. So, in last position, even though he was on the winning team, it's going to be Ritalin with 17%. Second place team, sorry.
Awkward.
Second place.
Winning
sorry.
team, why play? Yeah.
In third position, even though he was on the winning team, that's what I was trying to say, it was Hiji with 18%. Bulo, you came second with 23%.
Oh my god.
What a result. I'm so proud.
And Hat, 41%, going to be the overall winner.
Well, I will look forward to saying that I came second to a medic who won 1 in 5 of his games in Brem. Also got an axe to grind. Fenrir was slagging me off at the start of the season. Fenrir, what happened to your Scottish friend Shitlin, as I've heard him described in various circles? I didn't even have the highest drop rate, so screw
Really?
you all.
All right, you.
No.
Wow.
Shitlin did. I'm gonna keep saying that.
This is a really good time for you to retire, Bulo.
I think
Yeah.
I really should.
You're gonna do so badly.
This is a highlight of my career.
Just
Yeah.
going to get everyone
It's
focusing
all
on you next
downhill
time.
from here. I want to bring it back to the statistics.
Oh dear
I
God.
can definitely talk, but on the Gentleman John's article, now in terms of Ubers per minute, all of this KAD, all of this stuff, I don't really know what any of that means. But Hat was actually the best according to Gentleman John, and K3 was actually second, but he only seemed to play half the season. Ritalin did actually do the best in terms of Ubers per minute, so he seemed to stay alive the most, probably because he was hiding behind me all the time. And Hiji sort of down there, just above Bulo in stats, just
Well,
slightly above.
this is what I mean. I like In terms, in terms of the mechanics and things, you can question him. He's definitely the best. But in terms of actually doing something useful, I don't.
Are you talking about Hat?
Yeah, I don't think it didn't. To me, it didn't really come out, and that's why I think PG's the best medic there is. Whenever we play against him, it's very difficult to kill him when you need to kill him, and he's always in your face when kill switch have any kind of advantage or even any kind of very slight disadvantage.
It's just the way they play kill switch.
It's the way they play, and the thing is that Hiji plays with plays it that style, and that style won the season. And Hiji's a big part of that because he doesn't drop very often. He's spreads the heals around well. He's hard to kill. To me, Hiji deserves it the most because he was the medic for the team that won.
Yeah. Probably, but you shouldn't underestimate Hat. I think he had really good Ubers and he was doing pretty much work when he played.
But I mean,
I think Hat did the best.
We can say that Hat had really good Ubers and things like that there. But how are we judging that? Because as I said, his team lost most of the games they played.
I don't actually think that was Hat's fault though, mostly because he did the best.
But then how can we? Yeah, but then how do we say that's a good? If you.
I'll tell you what, Bulo. Watch a demo of Hat play, and let's watch a demo of you.
I'll tell you what, Eldrith. My team came third, and his team came fifth. So I think no, but my point is, it's just you can say that an Uber is good. Maybe he popped at the right time, or whatever. But if his team didn't do anything with it,
then it's so bad.
How can you rate that as a good Uber? That's all I'm saying.
So a part of the Uber is up to the medic, a part of it is up to the ones say he is Ubering. And the medic part, he popped it perfectly most of the times, and he milked it, and he had good timing. I think that's an important part of medic play. But if the pocket or isn't doing anything, then you can't really blame the medic for it.
Okay, let's move on here because this is obviously a touchy subject and a highly debated subject here, and we've got various other nominations to get through. So we'll move on to Sniper here, which is kind of should be obvious to anyone who knows anything about the class. We've got 4 nominations. We've got Flippy, Kcot, Tvik, and Froblem. So that's going to be what Daratutu, Killswitch, SNSD, and Highlander players. Anyone want to weigh in who they think's going to win, who they nominated?
Flippy.
I would imagine. I nominated Flippy and I voted for Flippy, and given that the Frenchies have done well in every single category, I'm going to guess the Flippy one.
I nominated Tweak, and I voted for Tweak because I'd say he's the one player from SD that really stood out. Other than Hat, he carried pretty hard this season.
Yeah, I went with Tvik as well, because out of all the snipers, he was the one who gave our sniper the most trouble. And
Your hacking Russian sniper, yeah.
Yeah, the hacker, Tracker. He's the only sniper who I think Tracker looked forward to playing against, and I think he would judge how good he is against how well he does facing a team that has Tvik in it. So plus it's a nightmare to play against him. So for that reason, I went with Tvik.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone else want to weigh in on Kaya? Did you speak? I missed it.
Yeah, Flippy.
Yeah.
Dead Flippy.
Okay, so in last position, second placed team is going to be Froblem with 9% of the vote. In third position was Kcot with 15% of the vote, and then pretty nicely split here, Tvik with 25% and Flippy with 50%. So I think that's possibly the highest percentage that we get on the entire thing. Oh no, Cadis got 54 earlier on, but 50% is pretty damn high. A lot of people saying that Flippy is an excellent sniper, and I want to agree with him. I think he's one of the best snipers in Europe right now, in sixes as well as Highlander, and he's excellently fun to watch, and it must be pretty annoying to play against. I wouldn't know, I'm not high enough level.
Flippy. Yep. Go ahead on it, Kaja. I know you want to speak.
Flippy is one of the few snipers that actually consistently hit most of the headshots. Like you see, most of the snipers, they just when they can't hit heads, they just stand in a corner trying to get a fully charged body shot, and that works. But Flippy is actually really good aim, and he gets a lot of headshots.
Okay, well, I'd agree. Flippy probably deservedly win it. When we played against them, I think cause Bulo likes to point this out, he got something like a 15, 18-man kill streak
Oh
or
yeah,
something
an
against.
18 kill streak on Barn Blitz,
And
carrying
we
into a
was-
round.
We were still pushing the cart. I think he's one of their big players. I think it's deserved, but Tweak is like nearly as good. I mean, those two are so good at clicking on heads that
Well, there's
when
agreement,
SNSD and
illustration
DA
of that.
played
Yeah,
against
that's
each
what I was
other,
gonna say.
it was Flippy versus Tweak, not SNSD v DA, from what I saw. So I'd say yes, deserved win. The other guys, Keiko and Problem, like both really good. And I know Problem's on my team. They don't seem to do as much work for their teams as Flippy and Tweak do, but maybe it's because they're umbrella teams. I don't know. What do you think?
I would certainly say that he's easy. You know, the fact that say Tweak and Flippy did so well, like probably put in some of their best performances against each other. Again, you see against teams that were set up that way, says a lot about the way Sniper is a lot more important for those kinds of teams. Whereas Problem and K-Cop, whilst both very good, the teams you wouldn't say, if you were to think of Kill Switch, you might think of K-Cop because K-Cop's really annoying to play against because he has like 250 ping. But you wouldn't say that they're standout players or they're snipers. Whereas for SNSD and for Doritos 2, you definitely say that Sniper is their big player. Now whether that's just because their snipers are by far the best in amongst all these other really high level players, or whether it's just because those teams are more centered around the sniper, I'd certainly contend with the latter.
Well, I think something like we interviewed Hildreth after a game, and he was talking about how that you'd literally just got Zoob to jump Tvik like constantly, and that's what you were doing when you were playing SNSD, which sort of says something about the fact that such a good sniper can really do stuff well, and it's really interesting to watch as well.
Yeah, but he was their main player. Like the only way they could have beaten us is if Tweak was carrying them super hard, so we were focusing him. That was our plan. We tried to do the same with DA because they're both so talented, those players. I think either one of them could have won and deserved it.
Okay, fair enough. So moving on, of course, we've got our spy vote, which, well, is unsurprising. I'm gonna say it right now. It's unsurprising. We had 3 people nominated, which is gonna be Inso for It's All Good, Fearboy for High Panda, and Snow for Kill Switch. That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
And well, like I say, it's pretty obvious who's gonna win here. But if anyone would like to weigh in here with what they thought.
Before Bulu begins kissing his Inso's ass, like he's inevitably gonna do. I just want to say Inso is the best, but also I think Snow did really good considering he doesn't main spy. Like when we played the final against Killswitch, he was one of the players changing the game just by headshotting people with the ambassador. But I think Inso's ahead of him, but Snow definitely very, very good as well. And Fearboy in 3rd place. He's good, Fearboy. Good player, but Inso and Snow are kind of a level above.
Yeah, I nominated Suki because Suki stabbed me outside of spawn after I declared that he wouldn't do that. So hats off to Suki. Alas, Suki once again overlooked, just as he was in all the UGC All-Star Spy things. So commiseration, Suki. I was there for you, man.
It's because his team are such underachievers, really. This round, this season.
Well, a
So
team
can they work?
underachieving is clearly no barrier to winning an
no.
individual award.
True. So of course we'll get on to the actual results, which, as I say, won't really surprise anyone. Fearboy with 17%, Snow with 33%, and Inso standout winner with 49%. And I mean, watching the games where he was in it, he was obviously an incredibly strong player. Basically, the way I can see it is It's All Good. We're basically carried by Lazy Bear, Inso, and
Mookie.
shit, yeah, that's one Mookie. So
Carried
classes
by
all the
a third
way.
of our team, carried by
Yeah,
our
basically. Basically, your pick classes were the only ones doing work, and your combo just sort of sat back and just
we couldn't do anything because they were
looked at
they
each
were
other's
doing
hats.
everything. I can't kill what's not there. That's my problem. If I could have pocketed Lazy Bear, oh my god, my KD would have been so amazing. Next season, I'm just going to run quick fix, and I'm just going to pocket Lazy Bear the entire time.
And yet you still had one of the highest Uber drops.
No,
Interesting.
I think I had the medium one.
Oh no, Uber Pops, one of the lowest Uber Pops.
Oh yeah, lowest super pops. I like to hold it. No need to use it whenever my flank is
We've
so
kind
far
of
forward.
we're back to medic again, are we?
Sorry, yes, sorry.
We're only
Just
going to
like
talk about
insulting people.
spy, like Snow or Inso. Who deserves it?
Basically, yeah.
I think it's Inso.
I'm not going to say it's not Insu. Insu's definitely the best spy, like by a long way. But Snow's come on and spy like leaps and bounds. Like he did an awful lot against us in the second versus third place playoff match. He's one of only like 3 spies that actually have good ambassador aim, and if you have good ambassador aim, that makes you already like top 10 spy, top 5 spy even, because it just it's a far more reliable weapon than relying on your knife. And that's why I think Insu's the best, because I think he has the perfect balance between using his knife and using the ambassador.
Yeah, I think I agree with how the vote went, to be honest. Inso and Snow are super annoying. It's really now, at the top level play, the gun spies that are annoying everyone, and they're the ones that are doing work, versus the spies, maybe you go down the lower level, who rely on their knife. It really is the gun spies. Snow has become super annoying to play against. As Burlo said, he's really come on. So, I would have to agree with the vote.
I mean, it is interesting that Snow prefers playing sniper to spy when he's definitely top 2, top 3 spies in Europe right now. But maybe sniper he wouldn't be. So it's just interesting that he would rather play a class that he is relatively weaker at. Well done, Snow. That's good ambition.
See, I can't ever see Snow as a Prem player, because I remember him starting at the same time as me back in Steel. Season
not that you're bitter or anything, right?
6 or something.
You're here in the awards show, Raishi, and he isn't. Just think about that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but I cast him my weight at the top, whereas he's actually become good at the game. It's disappointing. But let's move on, because we've got a couple more categories to do, and TF2 is going to be starting up, so we're losing all our watchers now. GG. So we've got 4 categories left: MVP, debut, talent, and caster. And we'll leave MVP to last, for obviously. So I think we'll go with the upcoming talent of the season now. So obviously, not Beep, you weren't actually nominated at all. But there was a person on your team who was nominated, which is going to be Tracker. So he was nominated, and we've also got Jonuff nominated. Although, not quite sure why he's upcoming talent, as he did play, 4 Prem games for you, Bulo? Or 3?
Who, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, I imagine Joe got nominated, because we all nominated Joe every and it's all good. He played 4 after Niak went to Japan.
Okay, but I'm saying I'm not quite sure why he's upcoming talent when he's already playing in Prem.
Because
He isn't in our roster.
Because he's not on our roster.
Oh yeah, good point.
So he marked for the last 4 games, so we were able to nominate him even though because he wasn't on our roster. So it's a pile of shit. And also, Joe's been playing for as long as I have, for 2 years. So it's a bit silly that he's upcoming talent.
But that kind of solidifies it even more, that he isn't in a Prem team, but he's playing in their playoff games. So that says a lot about how
good Joe is. Yeah, Joe's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the other guy, Tracker.
Tracker's probably the most notorious.
I voted for him.
Yeah, with Tracker, it's really interesting because Burlo was there whenever I kind of found him. We were playing Ireland. It was Ireland versus Belarus in the it was a scrim for the Nations Cup, and Stack needed a sniper at the time, and we were playing this scrim, and you couldn't peek anywhere. You couldn't move if their sniper was up. And I was like, right, I got to get this guy. And last season, UGC, the one that we just played and came second to Kill Switch, was Tracker's first Highlander season. He'd never played a season of Highlander before. He played CSGO. So ETF2L was his second season. So his first ETF2L Highlander season. He's done well to be nominated for something like this.
He has come out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, unlike a lot of people who kind of work their way up, and they're in TF2 for a long time, and Tracker, yeah, completely came out of nowhere. He has something like 600 hours on Sniper. No one really knew who he was, and all of a sudden he kind of got this notoriety about him, and people knew who he was, and a lot of people thinking he was hacking, and we had to submit demos and do all that stuff. But I don't know. I think it's really good. It's really nice to have a player like that on your team, that people kind of are suspicious of. I think it adds to just a bit of the fun of the game for me.
I always thought, Beep, you were the hacker, not him. Just saying. I think Tracker deserves to win, assuming he's legitimate.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's played at the Russian lands and stuff. Like, people have seen him.
Yeah, playing at a Russian land.
Yeah, sure.
You're gonna need stronger evidence than that, Pete.
There's more people not hacking at a Russian. More people hacking at a Russian land. Sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could take a video of him playing a scrim or something. I don't know.
I think though, as good as he is, there are a few players that were overlooked in his vote because you asked Prem. Now you don't get to play against too many teams below. But the only Div 1 teams that were really worth playing against were teams like Chess Club and Stacked. Other than that, the other teams they're good, but you don't really play against them often. So Chess Club have really good players that deserved a spot. Elysium.
Yeah,
the Sniper 4 chess.
He's really good. Yeah. Can't think of anyone else. Sorax, I rate him as a scout for Stacked. He's quite a good scout. But I don't really know anybody else sort of from Div 1.
Well, who did you nominate, Eldrin?
I mean, I nominated Tracker because he's the only one I know. It's between Tracker and Elysium. I went for Tracker because we once played them Stacked on a PCW and he carried that team to victory.
Hooray!
Got like something like 50 frags. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he can. The other thing about him is that he's consistent, and he often does top frag, and he gets a lot of medic picks at the right time. It's not just there are people that get a lot of medic picks and soldiers and things like that, but yeah, they're kind of overrated. If you get them at the right time, it's great, but he does really get them at the right time. So that's really valuable as well.
Shall we announce the winner? I might as well do it, Ryushi.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was actually very, very close, looking at this, to the upcoming talent. Because Joe is actually really good, but he came second with 49% of the votes.
Oh,
wow.
So close!
And Tracker, obviously 51% of the votes. He won the upcoming talent. 14 votes between them.
Oh,
well done, Tracker.
Joe. You
Well
should have tried harder.
Who's actually clapping right now?
Me for my Sniper.
God, I hate you.
Somebody mentioned we got in this thing.
This is the only reason why
if Lazy Bear gets a clap, Tracker gets a clap.
This is Irish. Never invite someone from Ireland on again to one of these.
Get Marvel on next time.
Here, I said Admirable, but Admirable doesn't really know that much about players and about the Highlander community. He's not as in the loop, I suppose. He cares more about
I could have nominated
sixes.
him actually. Now to think about it.
Upcoming Highlander player. Yeah, that would be great actually.
Shall we move on, Ryushi? Because
Yes.
we've
let's.
talked this one to death.
Okay, so we've got Prem debut or Caster that we can do next. Anyone have any preference?
I think we should leave
Caster.
those two anticipated to last.
Yeah, I agree. Go with
Caster
Caster.
and MVP last, and then Prem debut.
Okay. So we'll run the Caster, which I am, as I said earlier, a little bit salty about. But we had 3 nominations somehow, and we've got High TPS, Get a Whale, who formed a excellent casting pair for most of the last UGC season, right here on Blackout, and have casted a hell of a lot of games for the ETF2L season as well. So 2 deserved nominations there, and then we also had Mia, who perhaps I don't think she casted as much as anyone else.
How many
Sounded
games
a bit
did Mia
bitter,
cast?
I think she casted like 3. John's got all the numbers, and I know I only casted 2, but there's a couple of other casters who did, equally as good and some great jobs at casting, and a great number of casts as well. So I'm not quite sure why they weren't nominated. Clearly, none of the Prem players actually watched their own casts, but hey.
Who are they?
I know Jake, for example. And then I can't think of any else off the top of my head. Basically, I think
Yeah,
it's
I kinda
just
knew
Jake.
that.
I think Jake should have been nominated. He was really, really good, and I really enjoyed watching his casts.
I don't know, because when it comes to casting the Highlander in European scene, when I think of good Highlander casters, like really, really good ones, compared to when you have to compare them to like the North American casters, I can only really think of Kip, and she wasn't even nominated, so I don't think she did in the European cast, to be honest.
Yeah,
So it's
I
really
think she had to
difficult.
do stuff to be nominated. Unfortunately, she didn't. No, not insulting her. I don't think she actually did. I think she might have done one.
Didn't she cast your game Eldritch against Killswitch?
That was a YouTube VOD, because
That still counts as a cast of a game.
I
though.
know, it's a bit sad that I didn't get casted like the first and
Casted live.
second team of the season.
We didn't know. We thought you'd be scrub doors at that time.
Okay. Well, we'll post the results here. So it's going to be in last place. It's going to be Mir with 26%. Second place is Getaway with 27%. And first
Oh.
place, his deserved slot is going to be High GPS with 47%.
I mean, that's
No.
fair enough. I mean,
I'm
I really
assuming those 26% for me are ironic votes.
Oh,
Um,
that's fine.
Mm.
I'm too polite a man to call anybody out.
There's
for
too many
casting
British people
abilities.
here, Kaya. We can't back that up. You're gonna have to carry the can for that.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna back you up on this.
No,
one,
I just
Kevin.
think she's a very bad caster, rude attitude, and she doesn't deserve to be nominated, in my opinion.
Strong words.
That's pretty damning indictment.
Strong words, man.
Can we just talk about how enjoyable it was having Getaway and High GPS? I think they work quite well as a team.
Yeah,
I
they're really
think it
good.
was
Yeah.
I think it was very hard to actually pick between the two of them because obviously High GPS does all the does a lot of the streaming and stuff as well. But I enjoyed listening to the two of them, and I think that's what you want from casters. You want kind of people who have a chemistry, who have an interplay. Even though I mean, Getaway's in the chat, so it's a bit awkward. But my favorite thing about Getaway is how whenever anybody praises any player, they then immediately say how. And so, let's not forget, so is also a fantastic insert class name here. I love it when Getaway does that.
I mean, he obviously doesn't have very much knowledge because he described you as a good medic.
No, I
think.
believe Hildreth's correct adjective was fantastic medic. Not that
No,
I've listened to the VOD.
I think
That's
You're
probably
right
why
there.
he only got 27%.
out of all the people who were nominated, I think Getawell High GPS close between it. I found Getawell way more enjoyable to listen to sort of play by play, but High GPS has a bit more knowledge. So
Yeah.
between them, they made a very good pair.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, I agree with the vote. High GPS is who I voted for. Getaway has casted some stacked games, as has High GPS, but I think High GPS's knowledge really comes through when he casts, and I think for that reason, for me, he's the most enjoyable caster.
So what I really want to talk about is where are my 4 awards for all of the other Highlander seasons that there's ever been? Being the only guy that ever casted? No?
High GPS casted a bit
No,
last season,
I
Hildreth.
mean, like from from the Highlander Community Challenge up to season 3. No award,
SNSD would
nothing.
have won it, Hildreth. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
even the casting award.
They won it.
They would have
They'd
won
have
that
won
as
it.
well. The sucker would have won it because he casted one game.
Yeah, by the way, I casted one game this season, me, Steve, and Granger Bob, and I don't think any of us were nominated. Alas, for some reason, I couldn't nominate myself for caster of the season, even though I'm not on my own team, because the casting is separate from my team. I think I should have been allowed to nominate myself. Primzilla said no, though.
Zoob says that he nominated High GPS because he couldn't nominate anyone from his team, so I don't know. I don't know who he's on about.
Okay,
Oh.
John's explained the rules to me. That's fine.
Okay, next category where we got the talent. No, the breast parent debut. That's it. Good time to move on, Ryushi. Good
Yep,
time?
yeah, please, before this gets any more insulting and I get
No.
berated and mumble when I get back.
Poor guy. He looks so dejected. Next season, Ryushi. Next season,
Yeah, next season, maybe.
I'll nominate you if you pay me.
Okay, I thought I already was. Anyway,
Not
anyway,
enough,
anyway,
clearly.
Not
Anyway,
enough.
so,
not enough.
what'd you say? Debut or MVP?
Best Prem debut, and I think this
Yeah, it's gotta
category
be
is
best
quite
Prem debut.
really quite funny because I think there are more players making a debut this season than
Yeah.
that were not. If you see what I mean.
Well, I think
Yeah.
let's if we look at the teams that came first, second, and third, the players who were making their debut in Prem, or rather the players who weren't making their debut in Prem, were what? Zub, Verbo, and Steve
from
and Kaltu. The worst heavy in
Kaltu.
Prem.
There are a couple of one or two others maybe. I'm thinking, but like from all of those players, like it was my first season in ETF2L Prem, even though I played in UGC in North America, which is way fucking better.
Yeah, whatever you say.
But so loads of people could have been nominated, but the nominees from this, and unsurprisingly, 3 of them come from It's All Good, and 1 comes from Killswitch.
Why is that unsurprising, Hilder?
Well, because top 3 teams.
Are you saying that? Well,
I'm just saying that maybe I could have been nominated.
Oh, it's okay, Hilder. It's okay.
Well,
Was this really
cry
Prem
after the
debut?
game. Yeah, this is the Prem debut. We're not going through the things yet. Okay, the nominations are Jamal from Killswitch, Mookie from It's All Good, Insu from It's All Good as well, and Lazy Bear. So those are the 4 nominations. Any opinions from the people like Beep, Kajak? Because I'm just sick of hearing Bulo's voice right now. I'm just sick of
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Beep, weigh in. Who do you think was the best debut?
It's kind of tough, but I have to go back to kind of my playing experience, and playing against Jamal is really tough. He's a great player, not to take anything away from the other guys. But for me, Jamal was very, very strong, but it's a tough category for me. So Jamal got my vote.
Okay, fair enough. Onkaya, who do you think made a great Prem debut?
I couldn't think of anyone when I nominated, but I think I went for Inso ultimately. Because
Swedish circle jerk.
yeah, no, but he's a good spy that gets a lot of work done.
I nominated Jamal. Because why not?
We
Whatever.
couldn't nominate the other 3.
No, I wasn't allowed to. I wouldn't have nominated them anyway. Well, I would have nominated Mookie. I voted for Mookie because once again, Mookie is still my favorite gamer.
Yeah, I actually voted for him, even though out of all of the players, like from It's All Good that were nominated, you could have gone for any of them. Don't really make a difference for the team, but Mookie, just because he's really annoying, jumping around. Or was it Inso? I can't remember who I voted for.
You voted for someone on It's All Good, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I went for Inso. I just had to go back to ETF2L to check.
Oh, after you talked up Mookie, Mookie's going to be really sad
Well,
with that.
loads of people, I think everyone there deserves it. So.
Okay, we'll get to the results here. You said something about earlier about how Mookie was gonna quit the game if he got last place, right?
Yes.
Well, he got last place in the Soldier vote, and he got last place in the Prem debut vote with 16%.
Disgraceful. I might storm out of this mumble.
Inso got 22%. Jamal in second place with 24%, and Lazybear with 38%.
Disgusting.
So yeah, I mean, Mookie just getting absolutely destroyed in these votes here right now.
Lazy Bear sweeping the award. He's still got another one as well that he might be up for. But I feel like any one of them could have taken it, to be honest. They're all close. But Lazy Bear seems to win the popularity contest. It's so hard to differentiate between them.
Apparently so. And yeah, you mentioned that next one that Lazybear can also be up for, which is of course the MVP, most valuable player. Now we've got 3 choices here. Three people were nominated here for who I agree with, and then a 4th one perhaps not so much. So we've got Emilio, Lazybear, and Jamal who were nominated, and then Hildreth as well. I mean, who? Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I've been nominated for that. Because there shouldn't have even been nomination. It should have just given it straight to me. That's what I think, anyway.
Well, I mean, we can try and right some of the wrongs here. I mean, Cadis winning the demo vote when, like, I think quite a few of you agreed that it should have been Emilio Estevez. So,
Get away?
or even.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Cadis winning the demo vote when it should have been either Emilio or Hildreth. So I mean, they're both here. They can both win this most valuable player. So let's see. Did
who did you think was the most valuable player for the entire Highlander community this season?
Oh, silence.
Well, like I said before about the demo man, both Hildreth and Emilio like fulfilled a role in their team. Like they were the main callers on their team. Like came up with a lot of strategies for their team. You did everything pretty much for their team, and I couldn't really choose between them. I thought they both performed really well. Actually, no, I did. I voted for Emilio because Hildreth was very selfless and blamed himself in the final for a few bad calls. And ultimately, if I'm kind of judging them both on their talents as a down man, they both performed very well, and their talents as a main caller. And if you're going to admit that you were at fault for a limp display in the final, Emilio kind of deserves it on that account. I mean, he won. His team won, and he was the leader of the team that won.
It's true.
Yeah, that's why I ended up voting for Emilio. Again, part of the problem with me voting on this is that not in Premiership. I have little experience playing against Hildreth. But I think Emilio, as you said, his team did so well in ETF2L and UGC in terms of being the most valuable player. I really think that he was, and Killswitch have done so well with Emilio.
Okay, fair enough. So let's get on to the results here, because I've just seen an interesting chat post right there. And it's going to be in last place. It's going to be Jamal with 17%. In third place, it's going to be Emilio with 20%.
Oh, shock. Ooh.
And then, so we've got Hildreth and Lazy Bear left here right now. Okay. Now this is the closest vote of the award ceremony
Closer
right
than
here
14.
right now. Closer than 14.
I'm thinking I should have voted for myself on this one as well.
Oh, the drama.
Okay, so Najunin, I also just noticed, said in chat that Hildreth or Emilio, otherwise I'll just shove something up there. So Emilio's already gone. So it's got to be Hildreth, or Najunin has to post a video of this. So let's see, with 31%, 4 votes off beating the first place, it's going to be Hildreth. Lazy Bear came in first with 32%.
Disgusting. Lazy Bear with 3 awards. Disgraceful. I'm kind of annoyed because Lazy Bear is a massive egotist.
I don't think a scout even can be the most valuable player.
Well, it depends what way you want to look at it. Like, I think
No,
there's a
but
big
like a scout isn't main calling it. He's just running around killing people. But
I don't know. Did you ever watch UGC seasons 5 and 6 with Ruin and Blaze? Talk about carrying the crap out of a team.
That's true.
What I was going to say is, I think in like American sports, maybe Gal will, who's in chat, can kind of correct me on this. The MVP isn't necessarily the best player; it's the player who brings the most, who makes the biggest difference. So in that regard, you can maybe say that It's Mint deserved it because he is so much farther ahead of any other engineer. He's the most valuable player. You couldn't swap him for anybody without a massive drop in performance. Whereas you could clearly see though how closely rated Hildreth and Emilio were. Like you could swap one for the other, and I don't think it would have made that much of a difference to their teams.
A lot of the reasons I got quite a lot of votes more than Emilio is that game we did against you guys on Lakeside and Gully.
Oh yeah, I'll help build up this myth around Hildreth, the Hildreth myth that he was some sort of carrying machine after, he overstepped against us when we were playing Lakeside, and It's All Good beat his team like 3-1 I think, and then Hildreth aroused, came from his bed to dick us over in 12 minutes on Gollywash.
I thought it was 10 minutes, but
no, it was 12.
You sure
it's etched in my brain.
Forever. That's probably, like, after that happened, I might got a bit more votes. But
can we talk about Lazy Bear? Because I think it's maybe a bit unfair. Like,
well, he did sweep these awards.
Yeah, I mean, we have to say congratulations to Lazy Bear. Like, I shouldn't really be doing it because he's in my team, so somebody else should suck a stick for a bit.
Anyone want to stand up?
Congratulate him for the 2 other awards, but I don't think he deserved the most valuable player of the season.
I think I agree with Onkaya's opinion that a scout, I don't know. I just don't see how a scout could be MVP. He is an amazing scout, but in terms of if you look at like what Emilio and Hildreth are doing and stuff to their team and me and Colin and all that, I just think that is so much more than what a scout could do. Even though they do have the ability to carry, I think that what Emilio and Hildreth are doing is more valuable. Yeah.
Do you think that there should be a separate category for caller of the season rather than like the main caller of the season then an MVP?
That would be
I
interesting.
think that's a bit difficult to really judge, though, isn't it?
It's hard to
Yeah.
judge, yeah.
Without
It's just
listening
gonna
to
be
everyone's
whichever team
comms, you can't like say who's the caller. Really, I mean, you might know
It's
who's
true.
the caller, but it might be a terrible caller. But the team just knows what they're doing. Besides, you just want to win something. That's all it is.
But I think it's a shame, and that's kind of part of the point you're making, is that, like, how would anyone really know? But I think it's a shame that not enough people put
A value
Proper-
on. Yeah.
proper like comms and videos and stuff of their team on YouTube or stream it or whatever. I don't think there's enough of that going on, because you can't tell who's good at calling unless you see it. So I think there should be more of that. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion.
As an illustration of comms, here's Lazy Bear's comms. This is the most memorable quote from Lazy Bear all season, playing Lakeside. I'm weak, guys. I'm capping. That's Lazy Bear's comms.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
a
killer
scout
machine.
and he doesn't cap unless he's weak. And he admitted it. He only let that slip out. Normally, he doesn't even call that. That's the only time he caps, when he doesn't have HP to chase kills.
Is that it?
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was the quote.
that's pretty much it. In terms of for this award, it's good to see that Highlander, for this award show, rather, it's good to see that Highlander finally has an award show, so we can do this next year and the year after. But as you can expect
season.
with voting, voting on these award shows, some of the people who are picked can be more crowd favourites rather than the best. Not bitter at all. Not bitter.
Hildreth, did you win any awards
Gonna
this season?
cry.
I forgot.
I got nominated, man. That's good enough for me. I'm gonna go cry myself. to
Wait, did
sleep.
none of us win any awards? That's a shame.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
none of us won
Oh.
anything.
Would they have done one for like the sexiest
Like-
voice? Because then Honored Kaja.
Oh yeah,
Would have
Onkai
been-
will win that. His
yeah,
voice
probably
is
win that.
incredible.
I mean, Beep didn't even win Div 1, so literally
Yeah,
none
we're
of
all
us won
losers.
anything here. Oh no, wait, Onkai won the season. There we
Oh.
go.
I'm the
But he's
best.
the real winner here.
He's the real winner here.
We're all losers.
10 pizzas, thank you.
Will you share? That's a resounding no.
Yeah, clearly that's a no. Well, I think I've said all I can and shit talked to enough people. I don't know. Anyone else want to say any closing things about how they're looking forward to next season?
When is next season, by the way?
I've no idea.
End of March, I think. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry, next season. I
around
think
there.
next season will be really interesting, especially seeing as Legolas and Pirate Keepers probably have seen that. Well, they probably won't be in Prem next season. By probably, I mean
They
almost
won't
definitely.
be. As in, no.
So it'll be interesting because it means that whereas this season in Prem, there were a couple of games that were pretty much meaningless or not played. Whereas next season, I think, with Chess Club and Stat coming up, it'll be really, really competitive. And as we saw this season, the teams that finished first, second, and third were all newly promoted teams. So hopefully they'll have the same effect, and we'll keep on seeing Highlander changing and becoming more interesting for viewers.
I agree. I'm really interested to see SSD strike back with their new roster changes, which sees the legendary Frederick Dalberg return on Medic, my hero, my mentor, my love. That's the sucker for all of those who don't know who he is. That'll be interesting to see them SSD playing in against us, also good, and Killswitch and Daratutu as well. Like,
Yeah, if Dara 2-2
and
maybe
a
next season.
stacked chess club. Like, they're
Yeah.
all really strong teams.
Yeah, I think next season will be possibly the most competitive. This season, I think, up until now, has been the most competitive, but then you still had a couple of teams that weren't, like SNSD and Legolas, who were just there probably because their DM was incredible. But now,
Well, I think once Pirate Gapers folded, it became a lot better.
yeah,
In fairness, they
so
only played one game.
I think next season will be the most competitive, and I look forward to it.
The awkward silences means that we should wrap it up, Ryushi. Let's do it.
I think I lagged out there. Pete was still talking for me then.
Alright then, fair enough.
Okay, yep. That's good. It's a good shout though. Good shout to wrap it up. We've had pretty much longer than I expected. It's been a whole hour and a half right now.
And we've had quite a few viewers watching it. Chat's been quite interesting. Najunin especially did actually post that picture, although Get2L did have to time him out, which is disappointing. But hey, you know,
Did he? Oh shit, I missed that.
Really? I didn't see it. It's linking
I'm
to me on Steam.
I'm 99% sure it wasn't actually him, but you know,
Oh.
it's just let's just say it was an interesting picture. Anyway, so this has been a wonderful award show. We hope to see you next season, right here on Blackout Gaming. We plan to cast everything in UGC and then everything in ETF2L Highlander Season 6. And as much as we can of the 6th season as well. And if you're still watching this right here, right now, all 36 viewers that I can see on the Twitch page, head on over to the TFTV stream. I believe they are streaming Made 'em All versus Made in Germany right now, so go and head on over there. But I want to give thanks to our panel of experts of Onkaya, Bulo and Beep. Give thanks to my co-host Hildreth, give thanks to John for streaming all of this, and give thanks to ETF2L for running that wonderful season that we have just participated in and awarded awards to. I've been Reishi, and thank you for watching.
Shout out to John, the man.
I did.
I want to do one.
Okay.